Well, students, we're going to keep working on these abstract trees. I would like you to finish coloring any of the shapes that you need to do. So I am still sticking with the same color that I did before. Please remember to outline the shape so you can stay inside the lines and then shade it in a little more lightly. And I can just go through here and I would do all of my shapes, fill those in a little more lightly. We would get those all done. I did blue and purple because they're right next to each other on the color wheel, and I would take that and I would press that on hard. Now, once you get done with that, then I would like you to do your leaves. Since my tree is cool, my leaves are going to be warm, so I would take these and I would trace around the leaves, and I would go around the whole thing, being careful not to get any of this orange onto my blue. So I don't want to get those two mixed and have it look kind of dirty. So I'd go around that. I would shade this in a little more lightly. And then orange is next to yellow. So I would take those and I would mix those together. So let's just pretend my tree is done. If your tree is done, then you are going to start working on the shapes in the background. So you can see that I already colored this, but I'm going to end up doing these leaves, and this plant has warm colors for the circles, so I'm going to do cool colors for the leaves. So I'm going to do blue, and blue is next to green, so I would get that mixed in. If that's done, I would like you to be thinking about if it's a line, you're going to trace it. If it's a shape, you're going to color it. So we're going to move over to this one just to make this example go faster. But here you can see that the whole tree is done. I am choosing to do my line. So if this is a line, I'm going to trace it. And I usually try to make these lines two colors. So red is just like pink. And I think that makes some of these things stand out really well. So just trace them with two colors. You can see that if it's a shape, I'm gonna color it. If it's a line, I'm gonna trace it. So here, this is a line, so I traced it. This is a shape, so I'm gonna color it. Line, trace it, shape, color it. And if there's a bunch of shapes in here, I'm gonna make sure that they're different colors. So I did the blue, the gray, and the red. I'm gonna save black for the very end. I would think about tracing things like the wind, making those things stand out. I'm going to make that silver and gold, make those stand out. And then if I want, in order for the clouds to not get covered up by paint, color them white. So you can see I did that up here too. And I chose to put a little bit of gray on the bottom. You could do blue too. You can see this one is dark green and light green, getting a mix. Now, I did my sun with, I actually used three colors. I used this orange, I used this darker orange, and I used yellow. So giving these shapes some color too. Now, black is the final color to use because it tends to make things get pretty dirty, so don't use black until the end. And that's the last color I chose to do. If you do get it all colored, it's really done carefully, then I will give you a paintbrush. A lot of us will paint next week, but if you do have time, I do want you to know what the expectation is with painting. I don't want you to splash it. I don't want you to bang it. Please dip it in, wipe it off gently. I would like you to pick a warm color for the land and a cool color for your sky, or a cool color for your sky and a warm color for your land. My leaves are a warm color, so that's why I'm going to choose a cool color for the sky. I know that the sky is not green in real life, but this is an imaginary place. So I thought if I do a green sky, that could be kind of cool, and it's a cool color also. So I don't want to get this green all over my tree. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to go around my spaceship. And I'm going to outline all of this stuff first. once I outline these details, then it's gonna be easier to make sure that I can fill in this space. Every once in a while, get a little bit more water, but you will be best off making sure that you use more paint and less water. So here, this is just creating an outline, doing it neatly, and if you listen to my brush. You shouldn't be able to hear it, because if you can hear my brush, then that means that I'm being kind of scratchy with my brush. So this takes a while to outline everything. We're gonna just pretend that I did all of it. So I go around the sun, I go around the clouds, I would go around everything. Once you go around everything, then you should fill it in. Now when I fill it in, probably the best way is to just paint a line, then pick up your brush. Paint a line, pick up your brush. Because if you go back and forth with your brush, then it can make a scratchy brush, and you can see that my brush is just gonna stay in a point. And then I can just use a line and pick up my brush and get a little more water and paint. If you were to get all of your sky painted, so we're gonna just pretend that I did all of my sky. So I've only used one color so far. If I have all of my sky done, then, and I would paint it all green up here too, then I would pick a warm color for my land, because my tree is cool. So orange is warm. So I'm gonna fill that. I'm gonna go around everything here. And I would do the same thing. I'm just gonna be careful that my orange does not get into my green. And once you go around everything, then do the same thing. Just paint a line, pick up your brush. Paint a line, pick up your brush. If you were to get everything painted, what I would say is the best thing is once it dries to put another layer of green on the green, or put more orange on the orange. We're gonna talk about color mixing next time. So I am gonna give you one more day or one more art time to paint this. So you do not have to be all done, but if you do have extra time, I do want you to put more green on the green or put more orange on the orange. If you do have something like a shape like this circle, I don't have a color in here, but you could take it and then you could add an extra color to this. Okay, so let's talk about color mixing next week. So we can do some color mixes and connect to the color wheel. So do a careful job. Please remember, we don't have to be done today.